Jansen Harris here with the Just Good Network, also Level 1 Game Room, and that's where we're at today. Flynn Harris and Sean Fowler. Let's talk about Kawhi Leonard. Should he be in the GOAT discussion, two-time Finals MVP? Let's start with you, Flynn.
No. Simple answer is no, Kawhi should not be in the GOAT discussion. I feel like Kawhi has way too much to prove. I think we're ready to just crown Kawhi after what? 2 championships and like a historic run with Toronto, and what, he's in the GOAT discussion already? We're talking about top 5 of all time? Top 10 of all time? Kawhi? Well, Curry's done way more. There's been guys who have done more than Kawhi. And he's had good seasons. Yes, he had seasons where he's led his team, but I need to see it more consistently. I need to see him lead the Clippers to a championship, at least a few championships, before I can throw Kawhi in that GOAT discussion.
I agree. I mean, I don't think the GOAT discussion, maybe top 15 of all time, something like that, sure. You know, I understand that. He still has a lot to prove. I agree. He is one of the better defenders in the history of the NBA. He's definitely efficient. I see, I could tell he definitely working his post game as well with the fadeaway. But as far as GOAT consideration, when I think of GOAT, I think of these legends already: LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant before Kawhi Leonard, if that's the case. So I can't put Kawhi in the GOAT conversation. I think it's way too early. Even if he does win a championship this year, I think his ranking of all time will continue to drop, as far as getting closer towards the number 1 spot, I should say. But as far as GOAT consideration, nah, I think it's a lot of things left for Kawhi to do. Also, GOATs don't load manage, so I'm not going to do it yet.
Ooh, GOATs don't load. That's a shots fired.
I like Kawhi, though. He's the third best player in the NBA to me right now, but nah.
2 Finals MVPs.
Okay.
2 Defensive Player of the Years. 3-time first team All-Defense. He's on the Clippers team that he's leading. If he could defeat a LeBron James AD team in the finals this year and win the MVP, or the Rockets, or Denver, let's be fair to Denver too. They still is just one game, right? Yeah. Then that's a 3 times finals MVP. We're starting to creep towards that conversation, if you ask me. It is premature. But we're creeping towards, we're going to have to start giving Kawhi that respect. If Kawhi could get a 3rd one, knock off a LeBron James, when many people out here think the Lakers are going to win the championship, he's the captain behind the Clippers. It would be his 3rd head coach he's won a championship with. Think about this. Greg Popovich, basically him and a lot of the older core players, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, kind of threw Kawhi under the bus. He felt betrayed. He goes to Toronto, is the leader behind that team. Technically, no other superstar on that team, really, if you think about it. We know Siakam, what he was able to do. We know what Kyle Lowry was able to do. But at the same time, think about this. With DeRozan when he was on that team, and then with Kawhi Leonard on that team. So he proved himself there. Now, the only knock against him when it comes to that, obviously, was the Kevin Durant going out. But, hey, it happened. He was the finals MVP. Now he's with Doc Rivers, who a lot of people don't think is that great of a coach either. And to win it with 3 different head coaches, I'm not saying he's in the GOAT discussion, but I'm saying people, we need to wake up. We need to say the same things we give LeBron James credit for. Maybe it's time to give Kawhi Leonard credit for.
Well, let me speak on this. So I think we can't put Kawhi Leonard in the GOAT discussion until he wins a regular season MVP. How can you put someone in the GOAT discussion if they have no regular season MVPs? Even James Harden has an MVP. Russell Westbrook has an MVP. Kevin Durant, a guy you put over Kawhi, has an MVP. So you need a regular season MVP. And like you said, Sean, load management is going to prevent you from getting an MVP, so you got to get off load management.
Yeah, and I agree, too. I think Kawhi Leonard, but going back to your point, Chance, you made some good points, but I can also just rebuttal just a little bit. You said, when he was with the Spurs, again, he wasn't necessarily the main guy. We've seen the type of upside he could potentially have, but Kawhi, that wasn't Kawhi's team. You still had a Tim Duncan, like you said. You still had a Tim Duncan, like you said, a Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Greg Popovich in his prime of coaching, I should say. So he wasn't necessarily the focal point. Although he did win the Finals MVP, he wasn't necessarily, he's definitely going to be our leader. That was for years to come after that. And also, you said Toronto Raptors, 3 different coaches. Did Nick Nurse not just win the Coach of the Year this year without Kawhi?
True.
So,
great point.
Again, I just think he definitely gave Nick Nurse and the Toronto Raptors an extra push, because when they didn't have Kawhi, they were always under LeBron's wing, even though he ended up leaving the conference. So Kawhi definitely was the face of that franchise, and like you mentioned about KD being hurt, and then again, going to the Los Angeles Clippers, Doc Rivers, he still won a championship. You know what I mean? He's been to 2 finals as well. He's been to the Eastern Conference Finals. So we can't – I I see where Kawhi, again, the GOAT conversation, top 5, no, way too soon. As far as top 15 around right now, even some people might think that's a little too soon as well. I can still see that. He's probably top 15 right now of all time. But as far as GOAT conversation, I'm going to have to say no.
Okay. Great discussion on that. You guys add below too. Like, comment, subscribe below on YouTube. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well. And for the Level 1 Game Room, follow them on Twitch and Twitter. I'm Jansen Harris with the Just Good Network.
We tag team Jansen.